One. All right, let's go.
Okay, so is it morally okay to harm someone if you're defending yourself, or are there limits where self-defense becomes wrong?
All right, I could go first. So I've always been like a supporter of self-defense because I've always thought it's right to defend yourself, especially like in cases of like violent crimes, like violent property crimes, where like an innocent person is minding their business or just like commuting to and from their destinations and you know maybe a mugger might want to try to rob them or take their valuables, or maybe they're at home and someone breaks into their house. So I've always been like a supporter of self defense for those reasons.
So you
Um,
do think it's morally okay?
yeah, because I feel like if an offender attacks someone or assaults somebody, they've sort of like given their because I think we have a like as people as human beings in a society we have like a moral duty not to like cause harm on each other. That is as a moral agent, that is your duty. Nobody like controls that. You have to do that. You have to make sure that you're not like hurting other people because if as a person with empathy, um, or
So you're saying it must
you know what I
be
mean? Like,
justified for your action.
yeah, like, like as a person, you should have empathy for others and you should understand that like if I would like I should understand if like taking something from you forcefully, I should understand that that hurts you and why that hurts
Yeah.
you. And so with that
And
understanding,
that's also like a very utilitarian view when it
yeah,
comes to just like keeping overall happiness.
yeah. Well, I think self defense, like having self defense, especially like states for self defense. I think, well, I'm actually kind of on the fence about whether it's for the greater good or not, because sometimes like self defense is complicated. You know, the laws are tricky. Um,
What specifically complicates
I
you? Is it
mean,
like more gun or gun laws
it's
or
it's political.
political? Okay.
Yeah, because to be honest, like self defense doesn't really work. Self the standard, there's like 27 states have stand your ground laws, where if you are where you're supposed to be, so if you're walking down the street, which you legally have a right to walk down the street, and you're attacked, you can defend yourself with lethal force. If you're attacked, like obviously you have to be in reasonable fear of serious bodily harm or death. So that person has to have like a knife or they have to have a firearm where you feel like you need to defend yourself. So like if you're in your car and somebody starts walking up to you with a gun, you have a right to defend yourself with lethal force. Um, but the reason I'm on the fence is because like I've already heard that in stand your ground laws that there's more homicides, and
Hmm.
reason I think that is I think it just has to do with culture because like America, we have like a really gun happy culture for one, and
Yeah.
I
I
think
do agree. Like I think that America is one of the only countries that has good gun laws and
yeah,
most people carry a firearm. I know that, growing up my family's always carried at least one firearm. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, same. My,
uh,
my family always carried a gun. But they didn't believe in like going out to like seek or like harm somebody. They were more of like, like defend or protect the people that they care about.
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you think it's okay for someone to be, carrying a gun at their local Walmart or Target?
I think so. I mean, you should be able to carry a gun everywhere so long as you are well educated within you know the gun aspects of it, and also the ethical aspects of it, like the actions you take and the consequences that comes afterward.
Yeah.
It should be about like duty.
Yeah, I
You
think
have
so
a duty
too.
to save people at the same time.
Yeah.
Mhm. What about like, is it morally okay to, you know, have a gun on you while you're at a playground?
At a playground?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's about like where you have it. I think it's like what you intend to do with it. If you intend to protect yourself or
I
protect other innocent people from harm, then I think it's morally okay. I mean, I think you should like have it concealed so it's not causing unnecessary drama because I do know that sometimes just having especially with all the gun violence we faced in this country, that sometimes just like having a gun that's in that people can see that kind of like might cause them anxiety
Yeah.
due to just due to like in the last decade and century with all the like mass shootings and just things related to gun violence that have like traumatized the
Yeah, and I
country.
think that location has a lot to do with it too. Like if you grew up in a more crime high area, you're probably going to be more likely to carry that, for a parent to carry that gun with them to the playground. But I feel like if, you're living in the suburbs or somewhere where crime isn't too heavy, um,
Mhm.
then it'd be a different story. So,
I disagree. I don't think you should carry your gun like around like playgrounds or other stuff. I mean, I mean, I accept if you have it within your car or like somewhere that you can reach it, like in a safe location. But I don't feel because like you might have to be in a situation where you have to save somebody or something might happen, and the gun might, like I've always had where guns jam or guns go off on their own, malfunction or something, and it might cause harm than what you intended. And it might have, unintended or unavoidable like situation that you might face yourself. But if you had it in your car or like somewhere safe in a somewhere you can get it to, I think that's good. But taking the gun with you to the playground, I don't really accept like I don't agree with that.
mhm. What do you think, Xavier? Do you think it's still okay? Like, I would say like in certain
Well,
scenarios,
okay, go ahead.
I would say like in certain scenarios, like let's say it was a mother carrying a gun because she was getting threats from like her ex-boyfriend from high school or something. Um, let's just name him Tom, and Tom is sending these threats to her, and she's scared because he knows that Tom loves guns, and Tom is a hunter, and he likes to hunt, so he has a lot of guns. And and she knows that Tom wants to hurt her, or Tom, wants to hurt the lady holding the gun. So she takes her gun with her,
Yeah.
to the playground. Do you think that, is still okay if her intent was, to defend herself and to be ready for an attack?
Yeah, I do. Honestly. I mean, like I said, I mean the location, I feel like the location is arbitrary when it comes to I mean, obviously you can't carry it. If there's a policy against carrying a gun,
Mhm.
like honestly, I could like we're at school. I can honestly see why you shouldn't and not anybody should just
Let's
be carrying
let's
a gun
say
in school.
let's say in the scenario
But
too, she's also in a bad
but
area.
but okay, but at the playground, it's a park. Yes, it's for children, but obviously you're not going to leave children unattended. And violent crimes can happen anywhere. You know, they've happened anywhere. They've happened in the suburbs too,
Yeah.
or in crime-ridden areas. So, and yes, you do have you have a right to defend yourself and like your love. And it's also as a parent, it is your duty to protect your child from harm's way. I mean, if you could do it without the use of a firearm, that's even better. But I think a firearm can be a useful tool to defend yourself from like danger or harm. I think it increases the chances and likelihood that a person would survive an attack or, just like a kidnapping, anything like that.
Mhm.
So
Lucas,
for
what do you
me,
think?
I disagree completely because the reason she's carrying a gun is at the beginning, like you said, she was getting threat messages from her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, apparently, and he likes to hunt and he has a lot of guns. I think she could take and file those messages and have like you know, uh, some kind of like restriction against him, or like
Mhm.
what's
But
it
like
called? Like,
remember too that she's also in a crime heavy area and the
Yeah,
police sometimes aren't the most helpful resource.
yeah, that's true.
yes,
They
but at
can't
the
be
same
there.
time,
Yeah, the police
she
really can't
can't.
be there with you, like 24/7. And sometimes, I mean, some people are
Yeah, but
dangerous. Some people you can put a restraining order on someone, and that could actually incite them to. That can honestly like invoke them to chase you even harder. I mean, I'm just being real. I'm just being realistic because
yeah,
people,
but
people,
her
people
getting
are
a gun is invoking him from
no, not
actually doing more
no,
action
not the
because
gun. I'm saying like getting a restraining order on someone that could sort of like provoke them more because for one, putting a restraining order on someone that kind of does mess with their status and their reputation. So it could sort of like it could sort of anger them or you know something like that.
yeah,
Not
but
saying
I'm
not saying they
saying
have the right to.
she can threaten him with legal action rather than having to take a gun herself, which could, bring more
Uh,
danger towards her because now he's thinking, oh, she got a gun because she's not like this or that, and then things might escalate to where like somebody might use the gun, she might use it out of fear to and wanting to survive, like survival mode, and he might use it because like he wants to be like that guy where he wants that domination over her or whatever it is. But
Mhm.
what I'm trying to say is the first time, like if she's never used a gun before and she's never like been in that situation when she needed a gun, and then now that he's her ex-boyfriend, he's threatening her, she can use like legal actions to take like steps to like or move from one area to another. But to buying a gun because you're feeling threatened or feeling like you're in fear of your life, that is like just giving somebody like adding fuel to a fire. That's not really good. But I
so you
don't say
think
like she
it's
shouldn't do
escalating?
it, but like it's not something I agree with. Like because you're afraid now you go get a gun. No, I think you should get a gun.
If it was like a knife or something, would you agree a little more?
Yeah, I would
Um,
agree because you use knife on a
well,
daily
for
basis
one,
and you
wait,
you
a
know how to
knife.
use it.
Well, I mean, do you have a license for a knife?
You don't need a
You have a
license
You
for a
license.
don't
knife.
need.
Or is that a
No.
legal like self defense weapon? So
Anything can be
I
a
think that's
legal
what pepper
self-defense
spray and
weapon.
like I think that's why they have pepper spray and what's that
A
taser? Those are
taser.
legal.
Yeah.
Those are non-lethal legal self defense weapons. I think they have something called a self defense stick, which isn't like a sharp point, but it hurts like if you poke somebody in there.
What about like a
But I don't
dagger,
think you can
like an
use it.
actual camping knife, like not like a pocket knife for self-defense?
I agree anything that's not deadly,
I mean, that's
weapon.
lethal. A knife is
It is
lethal.
lethal, but it's
Honestly,
sort of like
honestly, I think if you start using a knife, I think and
if
because the way self defense laws, I think if you're using a knife, you're because you have to have some physical domination over somebody to use a knife.
you
You know what I
don't
mean? I
really
think
need to.
yes, you do.
Okay.
Like like you have to have you do. You
It,
like
it's sort of like if you have a knife, you actually have to make that conscious decision to like actually him coming to you and then defending yourself. But a gun
well,
is like, oh, he's on my door, he's coming, he's banging on my door, and I'm gonna just shoot through the door. Like you've not made anything to like sort of de-escalate the situation or anything. If you have a taser,
well.
you can just shock them out, or if you have
Have
a
you ever heard?
spray,
Hold on. Have you ever heard of the castle doctrine?
the what?
It's called the castle doctrine. It's from England, from
No.
like 13th century England.
I might have
Okay,
heard of it, but
okay.
no.
Basically, so here's the thing with self defense laws. For one, if you're in a place you're supposed to be, you are allowed. If you're grocery shopping and some crazy guy comes in there, you can shoot him legally. Okay,
Yes.
if you're somewhere you're supposed to be, in some states you do have to retreat. Retreating is the first thing you have to do. Like, so yes, even if you're somewhere in some states like Virginia, if you're at the grocery store, some guy starts shooting. you need to try to find an escape first. And then once you've ran out of options, then you can start blasting. But when you're in your house, you're rightfully in your house. That's the only place because literally your house is your only retreat from outside. Being in like the square walls. So once you're in your dwelling, your illegal dwelling, and someone tries to intrude in there, I mean,
I'm not
that's the
saying he
that's the
got
only
in. I'm just
retreat.
saying if he was banging at the door or something, she can still call the cops and tell them, "Hey, he's at my house. Can you guys please send somebody?" Or like call her brother or her father or somebody close to her neighbor. She can use other methods to prevent that. She could use like a taser or a spray. Like there's other like multiple different ways she can approach that rather than using like a straight up gun where she goes and gets it. Now she's actually in fear and she's not using like she's not thinking straight. She's completely afraid because he's already out of her
Well,
home and
if
she's
she's
cornered.
if she's in
And
fear for her life, then technically if she's in reasonable fear of her life or seriously bodily harm, then technically she's right to use lethal force. And she's in her
I
home, which is like your home is your dwelling. You know, like that's the place you would hide. You
I'm
know,
not
is
saying
in your
she's
house.
not wrong for using deadly force. I'm not saying she can't use it. I'm just saying there's other approaches you can take. I'm just saying that the child still needs a father. I mean, he still needs a mother. One of them could die in that situation and things could go wrong for that child. Or, like the child might get hurt in between that gunfight. Who knows? Like the situation, like there's a lot of ways it can go wrong in that situation. But what I'm saying is to prevent all of that, like she can use other things where nobody dies and like she can take further actions and he can go to jail or something because he's breaking actual legal laws.
Mm-hmm.
But if she takes a deadly force and she just kills him there, then like she's traumatized, the child is traumatized. She might have like there's a lot of like afterwards is like she might not even think what she did was right.
Would you say that do you think it's okay for a normal civilian to be carrying a gun?
Yeah, I
Period.
don't mind anyone carrying a gun. It's just if there's other ways where you can prevent like other people from being, in that situation, like being traumatized or getting hurt, I would try to as less minimum of a risk you can have out there. But
So like,
All right, but let's be real. Let's be real. Okay, this is a grown man coming after a woman, and women's bodies are a bit more fragile, a lot more fragile than men's. So, and let's just say this is an active rage. Like what are they fighting over here? Like this is a relationship, and things get really hot in these type of
yes,
situations. You know what I mean? Like there's feelings involved, there's rage, there's passion, and one thing about fury is that it can be blinding. Um, so her even non-lethal, even non-lethal. I mean, you've seen grown men shrug off a taser before. I've known you've seen it online. You know what I
I
mean?
mean it's
I've seen grown
it's
men
all
shrug off
dependent on the
pepper spray.
voltage. I've never seen a man take a
Dude, I've
full.
seen videos of men like rip that shit right out.
Yeah, but that's a small taser. It's supposed to be non-lethal. It's just supposed to make you, unconscious. Or like if you've developed like your body to it, then you're not supposed to like develop that entire thing to yourself. Like police get shot with tasers before they use them. So like they've developed that, you know,
Some criminals are tough.
yeah, there are tough, but there's always
Some
a
people are
bigger
tough.
dose of tasers. There's always a dose of a spray that into your eyes. It will awaken you immediately
what do
when
you
you get
think is the
pepper
most
sprayed in your eyes.
acceptable weapon to carry
What
in
for
in a
self
scenario like
defense?
this? Yeah,
Um,
we can all go and say our item.
Wait, you start. I wanna hear yours.
I'm I'm probably gonna go with um a pocket knife
pocket.
as the most lethal weapon to carry at a playground.
You think that's the most acceptable, like the most acceptable lethal weapon?
Yeah,
Why do you feel that way?
because I feel like any knife bigger would one be very shady. Why are you carrying a kitchen knife or you know a a hunting dagger or anything of that sort to a playground? I just think that even if it's, under the belt and people can't see it, that doesn't mean like that's a little weird to do,
What makes a
especially
knife? What makes a knife like a better lethal self defense weapon than a firearm? When a knife poses more danger to, well, a knife poses more danger to both sides because that's going to become a very physical encounter. Honestly, if somebody's stronger than you, they could wrestle that knife away from you. Um, and during that scuffle, people can fight through pain, especially with that adrenaline that's pumping.
yeah.
I mean, you can end up you. I think your survival rate of because I think that would turn into a knife fight, and that wouldn't really be like clean because that could get tricky legally because if the knife changes hands during the scuffle, because the thing with self defense, I mean, the thing is, if someone's coming after you, you point a gun at them and they run away, you
Mhm.
did that, then that means the weapon did its job without you even using it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you can do the same with a knife, but I mean, who's to say they might still lunge at you with the knife because,
But
especially if they're physically bigger than you, some people just have a lot of steel.
bringing back the ex-boyfriend situation, I mean, if she took out a gun, I don't think he'll back away. He would probably say something along the line like, "You gonna do it?" or something like that, and then you're in a
Okay,
situation where
so
like
you think someone with a gun has like a sort of like a very fiery temperament? Then
no. It's like if you know somebody, then like if I know you and you don't like necessarily use guns before, or like you don't want to use the gun, the only reason you got it was protect yourself, and you know me from a person that I'm probably like we've been together, I can for sure say like he might take it up a notch and say
Yeah.
like call her bluff out, and now they're
Remember,
like yes,
remember in the scenario though, it's not a 100% chance that she is going to get attacked at the playground. She's just bringing that weapon
yes.
to the playground.
So
Um,
what I'm trying to say is if she brought a pepper spray, then she can, he doesn't even have to be there. Like if you spray him in the eyes, that pepper spray does its job. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
I agree. I agree.
Taser does its job. If you have a pocket knife, if it
I mean, you can
escalates,
still
still
fight
have.
through pepper spray, man.
I mean, like I would agree. Like
I've,
bringing
has
pepper
anyone ever
spray
gotten
is a
pepper
good
sprayed?
idea.
Has anyone gotten pepper sprayed before?
Yeah,
I have seen somebody
I've
who's been
gotten
pepper
pepper sprayed
sprayed.
before.
I have.
And I was in the military. I've gotten OC sprayed, and I still got through that little course you're supposed to do. You can get through it. I mean, it's gonna. It's. I mean, there's a thing called sensory
I have
adaptation.
Yeah,
seen
but you have to admit you're basically blind when you for for,
yes,
It's
for a while.
disorientating.
yes.
It
So
is.
that's why you
But
you
don't.
bring a
But I've seen
taser.
some people get sprayed and just like some. Like I said, some people are really tough. Some people's pain tolerance is sky high. Some they just like shrivel up. But I've seen people like fight through that like really
I
good.
think when you speak about pepper spray, it's like you get sprayed once. Like I'm talking about like a good shower bed. Like you just
Yeah,
pull
and
the whole bottle in their
I'm
face, and I'm
telling
telling
you,
you that is going to disorient you before you even get to that person. And if they keep spraying, it's going to do more damage than you actually need.
Mhm.
But
yeah,
bringing a
but
gun now,
What do
non-lethal.
you think? What do you think, Xavier?
yeah,
I
What's
mean,
the
I still think that some people are going to be able to like fight through that pain.
so you do agree that a
I,
gun is still acceptable?
yeah, I mean, we're speaking in a like a self-defense situation against physical violence
Well, we're speaking in the current situation is
with
she
the with
at the
the.
playground. She doesn't even know if the person is going to attack her. She's just bringing it to defend
Okay,
herself because
but
she
she's
got
like
text.
okay, so she doesn't know for sure, but
She
she
got
feels
text. Yeah.
she got so she feels so there's like a suspicion or thought that she might be attacked. She just doesn't know when.
Yeah, and she's bringing something to the playground as self-defense. What do you think is the most acceptable lethal, like the highest lethal item she could bring that would be acceptable for you?
Well, I think she should be able to bring a firearm.
A
I mean,
firearm,
it's
okay.
legal. I mean, as long as she's not a felon, she's not. She's a responsible person. I mean, if she's protecting children, I think that makes it even more acceptable. Especially if she's protecting her child, because I mean, those are motherly instincts.
At any playground, it doesn't matter. Or
Obviously, not on like a school, but
okay,
like
so
public playgrounds. I mean, I just feel like in general, a person has the right to carry a firearm wherever they want.
so
And
not
like,
a
unless it's
so not a school playground, but any other
well, you're not
playground.
allowed to bring. I think that I can understand why that's unacceptable because there's policies.
Hmm.
Every any school you go to, whether it's an elementary school or a university, they're going to tell you not to bring guns, and that's the same for like sometimes that's for like clubs or just any like convention centers,
Yeah.
and those policies are soaked in blood because obviously we know why. So, but that's out of respect because again, as a citizen, you do have a duty to respect like your country's laws and policies and things like that. Because those policies aren't just like we're just trying to be tight and we're just trying to be strict. Those are policies that are written in blood and trauma. But I
Okay.
think in general, like a person, because there's we know that there's danger. We know that the U.S. is a pretty dangerous country. There's physical, there's violent crimes, there's physical violence. So I
Hmm.
think for a person that just wants to feel safe or protect themselves, I think they do have a right to carry a firearm as long as they're responsible and they're carrying as long as they carry responsibly. I really wouldn't want it to be visible because I think that causes trouble. Um and they're not really trying to hurt anyone. They're just it's there for safety. It's there just in case.
Yeah, do you still disagree, Moses, or do you agree with them?
I agree with them. I mean,
You agree
it
with
is
them?
it is your right to bring whatever you feel is the appropriate measure to protect yourself and your loved ones. So
Yeah. Well, I also agree with that take as well.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
But
time
as
are we
far
at?
as but what you huh?
What time are we at on the
Let's go for like 8 more minutes and we'll be good.
okay.
But as far as like but I do agree with something you said too, Moses. Like I think it you yes, you also do have a duty to de-escalate things. And calling the police is like definitely the right thing to do to give them a warning. I mean, it's kind of to cover yourself as well. Cause like I said, because I mean, I don't think most people naturally want to like kill somebody. Cause even if you're doing it in self defense, it still might not be something you want to do. That's like honestly, it was that thing that professor was telling me. It's called the double effect. It's oh man, it's like when you're doing something out of like good, but you know it's still gonna have a bad consequence. Like, yeah, you're doing something that's like gonna protect you and probably others from
Mhm.
like probably like a more harmful person in society, even though you know that's still gonna be considered a murder. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I agree.
but it's just yeah, you still want to protect yourself. But I think he's totally right. Because that's the other thing that I was like mentioning before was like stand your ground laws, and especially with the case of Joe Horn from Texas, that we were talking about before, how he kind of like escalated things, although he was told to like stay put in his dwelling.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I do agree with Moses. Um, because yeah, you definitely have a duty. Like it's really your responsibility to de-escalate things as a responsible gun owner or just a citizen in general.
Yeah, I definitely agree as well. I think that, if
Yeah,
you can de-escalate the situation, then
yeah,
you should do it. And
yeah,
uh, I mean, in the scenario where the police might not have been helpful, that I mean, I still do agree. Like even if that was the scenario, then carrying that firearm would be the right option.
All right.
But
But let's talk about
the carrying the firearm is not what I get it, but at the same time, it's like it just it's not like sitting right. It's like killing in defense still like breaks the moral duties. Like it's not like you're legally allowed, but like
yeah,
killing somebody over like some argument or
it's
like
still a sin.
defending yourself from a harmful event, and maybe that person was not in his right mind, or the woman is not in her right mind, or the situation just escalated.
What would the boyfriend in the scenario, Tom, what would he have had to done to make it acceptable for her to carry that gun?
I mean,
Maybe there should be like
there's no acceptable things that he has to
Like
do.
let's say
Or,
let's say like she was sexually assaulted and she was
well,
carrying that gun. Would it be morally right for her to do that?
I morally right or wrong, I don't think
well, maybe
it's
if
like
there was a history of like domestic violence.
it's still like to me taking a gun means like you intend to kill somebody. You are intending to actually unalive somebody. That's taking somebody's life, and it's not like I really want somebody to go out and kill. Like it's not gonna do you more good than it does the actual person. Like after killing that person, you will be traumatized. There's no like if and or question. It's like you have killed somebody and you will always relive that situation. And this has been done like through like countless of researches where like people have talked after they've done such things and where like they relive that situation and
Yeah.
it's done them more harm than actual good. So like in the sense of like you're yes you can defend yourself, yes you have to protect yourself, self-defense is like a must thing, but you are like at the same time bringing yourself more harm than you actually need. Like if you can de-escalate situation, if you can get out of it, is better. Like like I completely say this, like if you can move from one state to another and completely avoid this situation, you should do it. But it will be like, okay, I don't want to move or something like that, then yes, carry a gun or anything you think is like legally you can do. But if someone approaches you and you kill that person, it will do you more harm than you are doing them. At the
Okay.
end of the day, you're trying to protect yourself as well after what you've done. So, like to me, I think like from what I've researched, from what I've read, and from what I have actually seen in person, talked to people who have actually done these actions, has been like I they wish they've never done it. Like they wish they could have just moved another state. They wish they moved like to another country or something. Like
Yeah.
it's not worth the cons or the outcome afterwards. It's
Yeah.
never like
But how about this? How about the for some people, I'm pretty sure that because for me and how like this even like this for my this is was my case study and how this even came up for me was I feel like for a lot of people because I feel like for me um feeling like I have the right to like defend myself it sort of kind of gives me like a assurance like a self assurance because like do you guys know what like Maslow's hierarchies of needs of human needs are? Well, it's like it's like from psychology, but it's like Maslow's hierarchies of needs, and like level two, which is like one of the most basic, is pretty
Mhm.
much like physical safety. You know what I mean? Like having like a roof over your head. That's like human beings. That's just what I'm going back to when I'm saying like self defense is like just like designed into like who we are as people. Because like, say if somebody like pushes you or punches you, like your body naturally guards itself. You know what I mean? And I feel like self defense or self defense laws, I feel like they give a lot of people like more like self assurance, like confidence, like security.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
But
agree.
If the worst happens,
when I hear people talk about self defense in most cases, it's been like oh, I want to carry a gun to defend myself, or I want to carry a knife, or I want to carry this or that, something that can kill another person. They don't think about what will happen after they kill that person. They usually do not think about that. And then once it happens, that's why you see like people go to therapy or go see another person, or they have like drinking problems or other drug problems. And it's usually I've never seen a person who has killed and then gone back to their regular life. It's never been the same.
Well,
So
what about Joe Horn?
no, he didn't. You can't go back to your normal. Like you can't tell me you went back to your normal
Okay,
life.
so you're saying, okay.
Yeah, I also
Honestly, I
agree.
think so. You agree,
Yeah,
Jack?
well, also a Christian, and like I do believe that like although you can be atoned for the sin, but like killing another human life is definitely a sin, I'd say.
So you're saying like regardless of the context surrounding it, that
Well,
killing is
I use Christianity as my moral compass. So whatever the scripture says is right, I try and follow.
okay.
Yeah. So I mean like
No, I totally understand.
in terms of that, like I think no matter what, like I personally would not even carry anything.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think that goes along with virtue ethics as well. But yeah, I get that. But yeah, we've hit our mark.
perfect.
So yeah. Let me stop recording.